If you're looking for an easier way to analyze the US30 market, well, you're in the right place because in this video, we're going to go over my analysis. We're going to go over my game plan for the upcoming week. That includes entries, exits, profit targets, and all of those other zones and any other information that's going to be really helpful in order to analyze the market. So stay tuned because in this video, you're going to definitely learn a lot of things that are going to help you better analyze the markets and become a much better trader. So now that I'm back in my usual office and not traveling, I wanted to do something a little bit differently here on US30. And as you can see, this is the markup from last week. And if you missed that, you can go ahead and check out the video from last week on US30 and see why I plotted these things the way that I did. But one of the things that I want to do slightly different is I actually want to clean up my charts a little bit, mainly because these markets, at least for this past week, all the market really did is just sold off and came back to this previous high. And the market can continue to do that this upcoming week, but I'm not really sure what it's going to do. So that's why I want to map out my game plan here for you. So let's go ahead and just clean this up. So off the bat, I'm looking at a couple of things that I drew last week and it's fine, but the price didn't come anywhere down here. So I could just basically leave those alone and not do anything with them. But one thing I do want to do is actually extend this line. And as you can see, we're on the daily chart. If you need to see more information, then I like to hop down to the H2 chart or even the H1 chart. And when you're going from time frame to time frame, all you're really doing is just getting a lot of data. So now that I'm on the H2 time frame and I can see things a bit more clearly, like I said, I want to extend this line. All I'm going to do at this moment is just clean up some of the things that I drew last week, just so that way we are keeping in step with what could possibly happen this upcoming week. So I just want to extend that line, and then I'm going to extend this line as well. Just basically do the same thing, because essentially anything below possibly here, I'm not really going to touch, because the week prior we had this insane move, and I just want to keep these lines just in case price comes back to these levels. So this is looking good to me. So now let's go to the weekly time frame, and we can see that there's been a lot of price action. And looking at this, here's that really big bullish candle, and then we have a bit of a retracement from this past week, basically selling off. I could definitely see price selling off a little bit more into the early next week, but I'm not really sure. So we'll just kind of wait and see what happens. But the first thing I want to do here is I want to mark off this height right here at 44,400 and let's say 77, mainly because that's the highest point that this market has gotten to at this particular point, and price could potentially come back there. So I definitely want to mark that off. And then going down to the daily, now that we have that marked off, I like what I see. So let me go down to the H4 time frame and see if there's something else. Yes, so now that we're on the H4 time frame, I do see a bit of market structure that has formed. So now that we have some price action up in here, what I want to do is I do want to mark off a couple of levels. I do see this level here around 43,743. We can round up to 45 if we wanted to, and we can actually move this up just so that way we can focus more on this support versus this support. So this happened in the past, this happened much more recently, so I like to prioritize price action that has happened more recently. So I want to keep that line there. And then the other thing that I want to do is I want to mark off another level right here, because we have a resistance here, we have a resistance here, and then we also have several rejections throughout this area. So I'm going to mark off 44,065 kind of zone. As we go down to lower time frames, we're going to see a lot more candles. That's going to give us a lot more data. So I definitely want to be able to refine my levels then, but for right now, this is looking good. And then you could even draw a level right here. Here's the level of support at 44,221. But for me, I'm not interested in drawing that right now. So let's go ahead and go down to H2. All right, so now that we have more data here, so I'm actually seeing some things that I want to move. So here's that top level, the highest point that price has gotten to inside of this US30 market. It's sitting right here now at 44,000, let's just say 500. So that's a really good spot. It's kind of in the range. It's a really good spot. So this level that we just drew, I do want to push this up now that I have more data. And this is now sitting around 44,000, almost 100. So really nice level. And then this right here, I want to keep this the same. We still have this support here. We also have some sort of interesting price action here, but it still looks good. So let's go down to the H1 time frame. And let's see if there's something that we want to refine. So top level, still looking good. This level, I do want to bring it up a bit. Now we have a rejection. And we also have a nice resistance sitting right here at 44,000. Let's just say 150. That's going to be the closest here. And looking at this level, it's actually really good. We could pull this down just a little bit. And basically it's just chopping through, or it's going to cut through all of these low momentum candles. And that's totally okay because we're focusing on most recent price action. Right now we are sitting at 43,700 and let's just say 75. That's going to be the closest round number that we get to, and this is looking good. So now I have a lot of lines or a lot of different zones on my chart. So if I wanted to take a trade somewhere, then it's easier for me to do so because now I have tradable zones. And I like to just measure and just make sure that these zones make sense. So this is 383 points inside of the market, more than enough room to take some trades there, no matter what strategy you are using. This one, 351, perfect. And then this one is, yeah, almost 500. So a lot of different zones. You could even make these zones smaller if you want to, just depends on your trading style. But for mine, this works just perfectly. Some of the things that I see inside of the market, we obviously had this really big push up, and I made a ton of money in this big push up, and I hope that you did too. But a lot of money from this big push up, price consolidated and then pushed up again before retracing and then retracing even more. So I don't fully believe that this whole retracement is done. I believe that we still have some more to go, and I believe that once we finish retracing, then there is a possibility for price to continue to push up into higher levels, maybe getting into 45,000 flat or even going much further between now and the end of the year. So we don't have that much time left before the year is up, roughly a month and a half. And there's only going to be so many trading days during that time period. So I want to figure out what sort of levels could possibly present themselves. And without having any data up here, it's a little bit challenging to do that. So you're essentially just not really guessing, but there are tools inside of the market that you can use to do that. So I'm going to use my Fibonacci retracement tool, and I'm going to draw a level from 41,644. It may be slightly different on your chart, all the way to the top, and make sure that it's perfect. So the top being 44,495, and basically using the extension levels, this gives me an idea as to where price could potentially go, even though we don't have any data up here. Just going to use my horizontal ray tool and mark off this level right here at the 0.27 extension level. So now I'm also going to mark off this 61.8 extension level that is now at 46,253. And then I have a 100% extension level, and I just basically just follow that pattern. If you have other extension levels on your Fibonacci retracement tool, that's totally cool. Just use whatever you are comfortable with. These are the levels, extension levels that work for me, and that's pretty much it. So although this is a bit high, it may take it a while to get up here, maybe into the new year, maybe not necessarily between now and the end of the year, but who knows? I mean, we didn't expect all of this right here, and it happened. So, and this was something like 2,000 points, and I'm not even at the very bottom. Let's just take it up to here. Okay, yeah, 2,600 plus points inside of the market. So anything is possible. So anyway, so these are my levels. I'm just going to straighten this up just a little bit so it's even with this. So these are the extension levels that I'm looking for in the future, and you can actually get rid of this so that way you can clean up your chart a little bit. And as far as my game plan for this upcoming week, I'm looking for price to settle. Like, I don't really know where that could be. So if it breaks this level for sure, and continues to push down, then I believe that price can come to this level. If it, in this level right now is at 43,040, and then if price continues to break here, then it's coming to 42,700 and let's say 13 or 700 flat. And I'm basically just waiting for a consolidation to happen. So when I say consolidation, I'm looking for something like this over here. So you see how you have like all of these candles that are basically just going bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. Some of these have really big wicks, and price was trying to push down, but it just didn't want to. So I'm looking for a consolidation zone, something like this to form, and continue to make some market structure that gives me an indication that price is going to go up. So what that may look like, let's just say hypothetically, because we don't truly know, but let's say hypothetically, price was to come down here into this kind of zone and started to form some market structure. So I'm looking for some sort of consolidation. I'm looking for price to break out of that consolidation, come back, retest this zone, so these highs here, and then I'll be looking for an entry. If I decide to trade this market, I'll be looking for an entry within here, and then continuing to ride the trend there. So that's typically your break and retest type of, actually it's two different things. It's a consolidation break, and then it's also a break and retest type setup. And those are actually my favorite setups to take. And that will be something that I will be looking for, not just trying to hop into the market while it's on its way down. Granted, this is a correction, but I'm not trying to catch the very bottom. I'm trying to look for something in the market that's going to give me a solid signal as to price having a higher potential of moving up. So this is my analysis on US30. Just wanted to try something a little bit different. Instead of drawing all of the lines every single week, maybe I'm thinking every other week, have 1 week all fresh lines, and then the second week kind of doing a bit of a touch up, so to speak, because sometimes the price doesn't move as much as we would like, and a touch up is necessary. So let me know if you like that kind of style. If so, we're going to roll with it. If not, we're going to go back to me doing all the lines, which is totally cool. But I just wanted to try this out, and I will see you next time.